Durbania. I'm Durban, and joining me today from a faraway land is Matic. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and where are you joining me from?
Hey there guys, my name is Matic Valentan and I come from a country of Slovenia, which is in Europe, and yes, I love movies just like Durban, and I started this channel to talk about movies. And yes, I'm just having fun with movies. I also do some trailer reactions on my channel, so just search my name and you will find me.
Awesome, and I'll have a link to your channel right there in my description so you can check out his channel, which is a really cool channel. Plus, he's got a second channel where he does, like, movies, and they are good, man. You have some, like, high-quality stuff on that other channel as well.
Yeah, we are trying to do the best that we can with those movies. Yeah, we shot one feature-length movie like the end of last year. It came out good, better than we could ever expect, but yeah.
Nice. So I'll have links to both of that in the description because it's all really cool and worth checking out. But the reason he's joining me here today is we are going to begin a series of retro reviews for the Fast and the Furious franchise. So, to let you in on the dynamic of this, Matic is more familiar with this franchise, and I'm not familiar with it at all. In fact, I only just recently watched the first one and the second one for the very first time to do these reviews. So, review number 1 for the first movie is right here on my channel. For review number 2 of Too Fast, Too Furious, head over to Matic's channel and check us out reviewing the second one there. And we're going to continue moving in that pattern until we've reviewed all the movies that have been released. So, with that said, let's start with you. What are your thoughts of the first Fast and the Furious movie?
Okay, so like I didn't watch the first one when it originally came out. I mean, I was kind of like, I don't know, 13 or 14 maybe when I watched it for the first time. But yeah, I mean, it is an enjoyable movie. We can all agree that this is basically a Point Break ripoff, right? Because
right.
It is like,
yes.
like it is like the exact same plot and everything, except that like Vin Diesel's character isn't as evil as Patrick Swayze's character is in Point Break, I would say. But there are many similarities to that movie. But overall, I do think that it is kind of like an enjoyable movie. It is kind of like guilty pleasure-ish. It isn't really all that great. It is an enjoyable, fun time. It isn't my favorite in the franchise, not at all. But I mean, I had a lot of fun rewatching this movie a couple of days ago. And yes, I would recommend this movie for you if you like enjoy fast cars. You have a lot of girls in this movie also, and I mean, yeah, it is a fun action flick.
Yeah, and then there's me. That's all that this movie had. Just to be perfectly honest, I didn't really enjoy this movie. I tried really hard, and what's funny is I haven't seen the original Point Break with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves, but I was watching this movie.
Like never? You never watched it?
No, but I know what it's about. Like, you know, I kind of know the plot and stuff, and so I'm watching this movie, and my first thought was, this is Point Break. Then my second thought was, did the director just come up to Paul Walker and say, do your best Keanu Reeves impersonation? Because I felt like, in no way was Paul Walker being Paul Walker, but I felt like in this first movie specifically, he was just trying to pull off a Keanu Reeves vibe that you get maybe from Point Break. But it just felt like he was trying to pull off Keanu Reeves. But honestly, I didn't think the acting was good in this movie.
Oh, not
I
at
felt
all.
Like, no, I felt like the story was very disjointed. Like they put enough of a story there so that Paul Walker has a reason to be where he is. Otherwise, it felt like there really was no story to speak of. And I have to say, though, every time they hit the nitro and they were going super fast, the fact that it turned Han Solo Star Wars warp speed on me, like the way the background would just... I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Because my first impressions of watching this first and second movie is they're trying to ground this in reality so that you could think that this could actually happen. Yet whenever they hit the nitros, we have a Star Wars look. And I was just like, you have got to be kidding me on that.
But yeah, I mean, Like you said on Paul Walker, I mean, he gives it everything that he's got in
Yeah.
certain scenes. He's like very energetic, and he like talks like this with his hands, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, he's doing what he has to do in this movie, and also
Yeah.
like Vin Diesel is like he's fun. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing special and everything. But yeah, like you said, it isn't really. They didn't have as much money on this one as on some of the later movies, and you can see that in regards to cinematography. Like, it isn't all that great
Yeah.
cinematography, and also, is there any line in this movie that isn't audio dubbed? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
because
It felt like this whole movie kind of got dubbed back over later in a studio. It was like,
I think it is.
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there were so many moments when you are not even saying what like on his mouth are saying or something like
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, yeah, like you said, like the green screen on when they hit the nitro, it is very noticeable. It really isn't all that well made in regards to the technical aspects of the movie. But I mean, there were some innovative things. Like, they're trying to do this like one take from one car to another when they're speeding, but it doesn't really look all that great. It does. Look
It doesn't, but I could respect the effort.
yeah, it does look a little better in the second one, but we will come to that. But I mean, yeah, but it is fun.
Yeah.
You can watch it.
The way I compare it is, recently Kong Skull Island came out, and there's so many mixed reviews on it. I've seen YouTubers hate on it, and I've seen YouTubers love on it, and I was one of the ones that loved on it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when you go see Kong or any kind of monster movie, you're not really going for the story, and you're not really going for good acting. You're going for the monster fights. And I feel like it's the same thing with Fast and the Furious. I think if you go looking for story and you go looking for good acting and you're not going looking for awesome cars, then you're going in for the wrong reasons. And, I mean, I came out really not liking this first movie, but at the same time, I can understand why a lot of people are drawn to this franchise because, like, that opening scene in Fast and the Furious where you had the cars robbing that semi-truck and they go under the semi-truck when they pass through the what do you call that? The orange barrels and all that stuff. Like, that was really cool. You know, the guy with the, grappling hook gun grappling over to the semi-truck. Like, a lot of the stunts and stuff that they did, I can't deny, like, that stuff was cool. But, like, just as a movie, I didn't really like it. And even though the semi-truck scene was cool, I couldn't help but wonder, why won't the semi-truck just slam on the brakes and decimate the car behind him? Or
Exactly.
decimate the car to the side of him. Like, what's going on here?
That's what I was thinking when I was rewatching this movie. Like, when he like jumps on the or when he shoots with the grappling gun, like the trucker could like just hit the brakes and
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it is ridiculous. Overall, yeah, some action scenes do not make any sense in this one, in the first movie. And I mean, but it is kind of fun. Like, there isn't any major action set piece like happening until the very end, like when the trucker like turns against them. I mean, when he fights back with that shotgun. And I mean, what I liked towards the ending of the movie, slight spoilers, when Vince is hurt, right? And Paul Walker has to call in for help, and that is when Vin Diesel's character Dominic finds out for the first time that he's a cop. I do think that moment was pulled off very well. Like, the music and like Vin Diesel's acting at that moment wasn't all that bad. He was pretty good.
I could agree with that. Yeah, like that look that Vin Diesel gave Paul Walker in that moment when he called for help, like that felt like the most genuine acting scene in the entirety of this movie. I did think that was a good moment. They attempted story, they really did, but one of the things that I will say that I didn't like is I just felt like a lot of emotional moments weren't earned. For instance, when Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are in the garage, and Vin Diesel is opening up to Paul Walker with his life story, I don't feel like that was earned. It felt like they shoved that scene there because those two need to be friends and they need to have that relationship to carry on the plot. but I didn't feel like it was earned.
Yeah, and also that scene when he opens up to Paul Walker's character, it comes immediately after Paul Walker actually hears what Dominic's character did in the past, like that he beat that guy almost to death. And in the very next scene, they like needed to clear his name to show like he isn't all that bad.
Yeah, and that's what felt unnatural to me. So in one scene, we get this story revealed, and I felt like it would have been more compelling to watch Paul Walker dig a little bit and try to get it out of him, but no, they just went straight into, I'm going to explain it. Another thing that another thing I didn't like, so you had Paul Walker hitting on Dom's sister. So if you had anything in this movie that they're really trying to build, it was kind of that romantic relationship between Dom's sister and Paul Walker. But the way the movie ends, it just ends. So, like, we don't wrap up the thing with Dom's sister. We don't watch Paul Walker get fired, because Paul Walker should get fired because frickin' Vin Diesel broke the dang law, and as a police officer, he should have arrested Vin Diesel. But he didn't. So he should, things like that, like, it just, the movie ends, and it's like, what? Show him getting fired. What happened with the girl? That was left wide open, and we never answered it. So things like that.
It does end kind of abruptly, but you know that at first they kind of wanted to have like a love triangle between Michelle Rodriguez, Vin Diesel, and Paul Walker. At first, there wasn't even Jordana's Brewster character wasn't even in the movie at first, but then Michelle Rodriguez actually said that would kind of like betray her character. So that is why they changed it.
I could see that, because her character was very fierce and very fiercely loyal. So that, I don't see how that would have worked. So I'm glad they changed that and introduced Dom's sister. And I don't know, having not seen the rest of this franchise, I'm curious as to if they're going to bring her back, because that was just so weird to me how they never concluded it. And then you get to Too Fast, Too Furious, and it's a different woman. And it's like, so you're really just leaving that to the wind.
But yeah, overall, I do kind of enjoy the movie. I respect your opinion because I completely understand. If I would watch this movie for the first time like a couple of days ago, I would maybe hate it too. I don't know.
And you know, I get where you're coming from too, because what I could understand right off the bat is how it is a guilty pleasure franchise. And for me, like, Underworld is a guilty pleasure franchise. I don't watch it for good story or good plot. I watch it because I love the action sequences. So, like, even though I didn't like this movie, I could watch it seeing why other people really like this franchise, because it is fun. Like, if you could just let go of all those other hang-ups and have fun with the cars, I could see how, like, yeah, this is fun. So, I could get that. For me personally, I think I'd give this movie a D for my letter grade. But that's me.
I'm going to give this movie 7 out of 10 stars. I mean, it is fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah. Well, that is Matic and I talking about Fast and the Furious. So that was our retro review. I give it a D. He gives it a 7 out of 10. Two completely radical different opinions that I think hopefully give a good balanced review of this franchise. By no means is this movie golden, but I could see how it could be really fun. So if you want to check out our retro review of Too Fast, Too Furious, go over to Matic's channel and check that out right now, where we do a review of the second movie. And then next week, we're going to continue in that pattern. So until then, I'm Durbin, and this is Matic. And where again can we find you?
You can just search my name and you can find my channel where I talk about movies. I do trailer reactions and everything. And also you can visit my second channel, Studio V Productions, and you can check out the movie that I shot last year. It is called Lethal Point. I'd be so grateful if you do that.
Awesome. So make sure you check all that out. Subscribe to both of his channels and subscribe to my channel, Become a Durbanian, and click that little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you're notified the moment I drop a new video, like as we continue this Fast and the Furious review franchise, and I'm doing this through fresh eyes, so each time we get to a new movie, it will be my first time seeing it, and my reviews are going to be very fresh, having never seen this before. So I'm looking forward to see how we progress from where we are with Fast and the Furious 1 to the trailers I've seen where cars are flying out of airplanes. I'm very curious to see how we progress to those moments, so make sure you subscribe to both of our channels and that you're part of that, and thank you for checking out Durbania.